What's up, everybody? Gonna try something a little different today. And we're gonna do a story time. The reason for this story time, though, kind of came about because this morning I was driving my wife to work and I dropped her off. Um, I get up on the highway and I happen to see um, a couple of young guys. They were pulled over and they were pulled over and the police had them outside and they literally had a couple of pots with some plants in it sitting on top of their trunk. And yes, it just so happened to be a couple of pot plants. And it made me think of a time where I almost found myself in that same position. So this all started back when I was like, I want to say I was like 18. My family owns a cabin up in Maine. And at the time, my grandfather had owned it. And this happens to be the summertime, but over the winter, my grandfather actually suffered a stroke and a heart attack while he was up at the camp. Um, and it was while he was chopping some trees. So just so happens that we had all these trees that had been he'd fallen them, but he just never had gotten a chance to slice them up and get them out of the way. He happened to drop them all inside of our, we have a pretty long driveway there. So the way that it had left standing is that we couldn't even get really down into the property um, because it was all blocked off by these trees. So my father had asked me and a friend of mine if we would go up there and take care of, these trees. I was going to go up there, we're going to chop them up, split them, stack it, and it would be firewood for, quite some time. So, of course, I agreed to it. My best friend, his name was Jay, he also agreed to come up with me. We were going to we were up there for a good month. Um, but I lived at my grandmother's house at the time, and she had a pretty big property in Connecticut where we live, and I just so happened to have been growing some pot plants myself. I had them in these pots, um, and I'd move them around periodically so they wouldn't get, my grandmother wouldn't find them, or some other family member who might be snooping around and doing some things out in our yard. So I knew that I could not just leave them here and then take off for a month. So, you know, me being the genius that I am, decided that I was going to take them with me. So it was going to be me, my friend, and at the time, my girlfriend that I had at the time. We were all going to head up to Maine. It's like a 6 hour ride. I brought some smokable pot with me, and that, again, during these rides, you get kind of paranoid. So I would stash this stuff in certain places. Why? Not quite sure, because as I just said, I had some pot plants that, again, me being the genius that I am, was going to take these things up with us. So ordinarily, it's a pretty easy trip. 6 hours. Usually, you don't get hassled by nobody. But this time, again, me being the genius that I am, we left kind of late that night. I had worked during the day. Again, I had stashed my smokable stuff in some speaker covers that were in the car. Um, had these pot plants just in the trunk, packed my luggage and all that shit around these things. And we took off, we're on our way. Well, a good, I want to say about 3 or 4 hours into this drive, I find myself, exhausted. So I kept finding myself doing a lot of swerving, and thought, man, I really need to, stop driving and let someone else drive. It was let, you know, the girl drive. And stupid me, I miss the rest area that's there. And I know this road pretty well. I've you know, been going up and down this turnpike, you know, since I was a baby. And I knew that the next rest area was about 2 hours from where we were at that time after I blew by it. So it's like right before a toll on the highway, I decided like, well, I'll just pull over on the highway off the shoulder. We'll switch seats and, you know, continue on our merry way. So that's what I did. Not realizing that there was a cop maybe, you know, a mile down the street, and he just seen, you know, us switch seats. Well, we start going, you know, we're a little bit from the toll plaza, and of course what happens, you see, you know, blue lights come on, and sure enough, we're being pulled over. We're being pulled over, and I gotta tell you, my girlfriend at the time, she was so nervous. I literally thought that like this officer was going to come up to the side of the car, and I felt like she was going to roll the window down and just be like, no, you know, yeah, there's pot plants in the trunk, and, you know, we got some pot that's all in the speaker covers and shit like that. I mean, that's just how nervous she just looked. So the officer comes up, and of course he's, you know, what are you guys doing? What was that all about back there? And, you know, I try to explain, I'm like, listen, officer, you know, I worked all day. I am exhausted. You know, we're heading up to my family cabin because I got to do some work up there for my family. Yeah. You know, he's like, well, why didn't you stop at the rest area? And I told him, well, I totally, you know, just kind of blew by it, man. Didn't even notice that, you know, I had even missed the rest area. So he was like, you know, that's not even why I pulled you over. So now I'm like, oh boy, you know, what did we do, you know? So he's like, you know, you have a headlight out. And the funny part to that is like before we even left, you know, I was always pretty good at making sure, you know, you check your lights. I mean, you check everything on this car, especially if you're going to be rolling around dirty. You know, you make sure your shit is legit before you get up on this highway. Literally, we must have lost a headlight on our way, because when I left Connecticut, trust me, I was very aware of, you know, the car situation. Because again, I knew I was rolling even a little bit beyond dirty, because again, I'm rolling with actual live plants in my trunk. But long story short, you know, the officer was awesome. Didn't ask to check or look anywhere else. Just wanted to know basically what was happening. Let us know that we had this headlight out, and, you know, let us continue on our merry way. But yeah, just, you know, me seeing these two kids earlier today pulled over, going through the situation they were going through, just literally just brought back so many memories of, you know, the dumb shit I did, and luckily, knock on wood, had gotten away with. Unfortunately, they did not. Luckily, though, you know, the times have changed a lot. You know, where, you know, right now in Connecticut here, medical marijuana is legal now, at least. So it has a tendency of making the laws a little bit more lenient, I guess, if you will, than they used to be, like from when I did this. Again, I was like 18. I'm 41 now, so, you know, you're talking a long time ago. Yeah, they weren't as lenient as they are now with that type of stuff. But anyways, I just figured I would share that story. Let me know if you like the story. I have tons of stories like this. If you guys are interested in hearing them, hit that like button. Let me know if you enjoyed my short little story. If you did, I will certainly tell you some more crazy ass stories of mine. Yeah. Again, if you like the video, like it. leave me a comment. I also do music reviews and reactions. You guys all know, I'm sure. That's why you're here, probably. But yeah, share this, subscribe. That would be awesome. Definitely looking to grow and have you guys grow with me. And check out my Instagram. It'll be down in the description. That'd be cool too if you follow me over there. I like having some sort of like interaction with you guys, on a back and forth type of thing. And it seems like that's probably a good place to be doing that. So, yeah, until next time, peace. Okay, gonna stop? I guess not.